In this video, we are going to create a simple contact form which is going to be fully validated. So if I click submit here, we are going to get a bunch of messages saying that we need to fill in our data inside of our form. And when we fill in the data and click submit on our form, we are going to send an email automatically from our application to the person who filled in this form, and we are going to say, welcome, you successfully filled in everything, and whatever we want to say inside the mail itself. We are going to use Shadcn for our UI library, then v0 for creating our whole contact form, and finally Resend to send our emails to the person who is filling in the contact form. You're going to be surprised how easily you can create this one with Shadcn, and I encourage you to do the same thing like me and put it on your GitHub repo, and that's going to be a great thing for you inside of your CV. And also, you have my own GitHub repo in the description below, and while you're there, hit one like on this video. Your support really means a lot. Let's start. We have here fresh copy of Next.js application, and first thing that we are going to do is to install Shadcn. So we are going to get started, installation, Next.js, and then we are running this npx Shadcn latest init command. So I'm running that one inside of our project in my terminal window, and I'm going to choose New York, then Stone, and we are going to use CSS variables. So now everything is being installed. And there it is. So now, as we can see here, we have a bunch of files added, components.json, our utils with the CN and everything. So next step is that we can start installing our components. And before doing that, we need to decide how is our contact form going to look. And for that, we are going to use v0 by Vercel. And here we are going to create a contact form with just this default theme, and I'm going to press here, they already have it here, a contact form with first name, last name, email, and message fields, and put the form in a card with a submit button. Everything looks okay to me, so that's probably going to be just a simple form, and we are just going to copy paste that, and based on that form, we are just going to install all the components that we need from Shadcn. So this is it. It's looking okay. I'm going to check the code and just copy paste it. So it used the card from Shadcn, and inside we don't have a form, but we are going to create it, and we just have the labels, text area, inputs, and a bunch of things. So I'm going to copy this entire component, and I'm going to paste it here inside of our components directory. We still don't have it because we were not installing any components yet. So here I'm going to create a new folder and call it features, and inside I'm going to create contact form.tsx, and there I'm going to paste this entire component that we have from v0, and here we see which components we need to install. So we need card, label, input, text area, and button. So I'm going back to Shadcn documentation, and we are going to install all those things. So first thing is the button, and that one is done. Then we need our card, and that one is being installed. There it is. Then we need input. After that, text area and label. And I'm not even sure about the label. We're going to use form, but let's just test it out for now. So label. And finally, text area, and that should be it. We could test it out on our page. Text area, here it is. And now we shouldn't have any more problems here. There it is. I deleted also the comment, and everything looks fine. Let's test it out. So inside of our main page here, we're going to put our contact form inside of this div so we can test it out how it looks. And I'm calling it, I think I didn't rename it. Yes, it's component still, contact form, like this. And here I'm calling it again, contact form. Here it is. And I'm deleting this image. We don't need that. And let's see how does it look. Okay. We need to change our style a little bit. I'm going to add here flex column, then little bit of padding, justify center, item center, and height screen maybe. Let's see how does it look now. Awesome. That's everything we need. So this is our contact form that we are going to use. We need now to implement our form also from Shadcn, and after that we are going to use Resend to actually send that email. So let's start. First thing that we are going to do, let's add here the form component, this one, and that one adds also the Zod and React Hook forms and everything that we need. So we are going here into our form component, and we are going to copy the entire thing. How are we going to use it? So we already did that, and now we need to add into our contact form this Zod schema like this, and we are creating our form schema. So what we need here is our first name, then our last name, our email, and that one is going to be type of email like this. And is it good? No, it's probably string and then email. Yes, that's it. And finally we have our message, so we can put that one only to be a string, and maybe just with a minimum of, let's say 2, it's okay. And now we need to use this schema, so we're going here, we're adding the Zod resolver and use form that we need for our form, and then here we are creating our use form, and on submit, what are we going to do inside of our component when we submit our form? And here we just need to add default values, so first name and then last name, everything is going to be empty in the beginning, and message also like this. And now we need to add our form components, so that's this part here together with our input. We already have our input and button, so we just need to do this to add our components. And then here we need to add, I'm just going to copy paste this entire thing, and here in the beginning I'm just going to paste it. So we are deleting this form from here, and we are going to copy paste to cut actually this one and paste it here. So we are closing now our form element, and now here we are going to, the first thing is going to be first name, and cutting also this one and putting it here instead of our label and input. And let's see how is that going to look. So here we need to put use client because it's needed for this form. And okay, it looks okay, I think. Is this one our first name? I think it is. This is your public display name. This is your, yes, okay. So here it's display first name. Let's put something like that. And that one looks good. It's just not here username, it's first name. Awesome. And now we are just going to put it here for our last name. So that's last name, and here also last name, and here also. And here we can just say your first name, and this one is going to be your last name. So let's see how that one looks. Okay, this one looks okay. And maybe we don't even need this description. We can remove that one from our form. I think it's obvious that you need to type in your first name and last name here. And now we need to put our email inside of this div, and that one is email, and instead of last name everywhere, we are going to put email. Here just capital E, and here also. And finally our message. Now that one is going to be different because it's going to be a text area. So I'm going to leave this text area here, and just instead of this input, I'm going to put text area like this, deleting this label, and now just copying this field inside of our text area so we can use that value for our message, not email. So here we're also saying message and type in your message here as our placeholder. So let's see how does it look. It looks awesome, and if we submit, we should get error messages. We don't get anything yet because our button is outside of our form. I'm going to put it here. Let's see how does it look, and to submit. Yeah, now we are getting error messages, and that's good. So we can start looking how to send our form to the backend. And also I need to remove this submit button from here. I'm not sure where is that one. Submit, this one. Okay, that's some leftover from before. And now we have our contact form with this description, first name, last name, email, message. Awesome. Let's just delete that footer that we are not using and remove all the things that we don't need. Nice. So let's see now how are we actually going to send all this data to our backend. Let's first see if everything is working fine. So I'm going to open here my console log, and here first name, last name, email, and our message, and submit. So we are getting our entire form in here. So our data is now ready for the backend. Awesome. So now I'm going to create a server action inside of our lib directory. You can create it wherever you want, and I'm going to call it email.ts. And here we are going to put use server. So this file is always going to work on the server side of our project, not on the client side. So we can here hide all of our keys. Key that we need now is the resend key. So that's why we are using the server action. So now we need a function to receive the data, and I'm going to call it send. That one is an array function, and this data right here, this parameter, needs to be type of this form schema right here. And how are we going to do that? I'm going to cut this form schema from here, and I'm going to create a new file inside of our lib, and I'm going to call it schemas.ts. And we are going to export that schema, and I'm just going to import Zod right here because we need it. And now here in our contact form, I'm just going to import that schema from our lib schemas like this. And now in our email, we also need that same thing like in contact form. We need this Zod infer to the type of form schema. And I'm going to put it here as type for our data. And I also need to import Zod, and I need to import form schema like this. Let's see what's going on now. Yeah, it's just not being used. So I'm going to console log that data so we can see what are we receiving. And I'm going to export this function send and use it inside of our contact form. So we are going in our onSubmit function, and here I'm going to use send, and I'm just going to send our values from our form. And now when we submit the form, we should see our console log here from this onSubmit here, and we should also see here inside of our terminal the same thing, but this time from our server action. So let's try it out. I'm going here, typing in my first name, last name, my email, and my message, clicking submit. It's working on the client side. That's awesome. And let's check here. Nice. So it's working both on the client and on the server side. Let's just do it one more time so we can be sure that this one is working normally on the server side and that our API key is going to be safe. So I'm typing in again our email, message, everything, submitting. We are not seeing the console log here, but we are seeing it here inside of our terminal. And now we can start implementation of Resend and sending this email to this right here. So let's type in resend Next.js and we are going to install that one quickly. I'm using pm, so I'm adding Resend to the project. Then we need to create an email template. I'm just going to copy that one, and inside of our components UI, what is it called? It's just email template. Okay, so new file, email template.tsx, and I'm pasting that one. And then next thing we need this one, and this is the most important thing, and that's the way how are we going to send our email. And I'm going to copy that one inside of our email.ts like this. And this one needs to be the async function because we need to send our email, and it's not working now from some reason. Oh, we need import resend with the big R from resend, and then we probably need, yes, to create a new resend like this. And we need our environment variable, resend API key. I'm going to create it inside. Where is the env file? Why does it doesn't exist? I don't know, but we are going to create a new file .env.example, and there we are going to add resend API key like this. And after that, I'm going to create again a new file env.dev like this. And let's just see in the git ignore which envs are. Yeah, env.local. So I'm going to call it local, not dev, so it can be ignored by git like this. Awesome. Now we need our actual API key, so you need to get that here from the resend. I'm going to copy mine inside of env local, and then it should work. So here inside of our email ts, we are going to get our environment key extracted. Now we have a problem because we named this parameter data. I can just call it email form data like this and delete this console log. So now we can here send emails to, let's say, someone that fills in this contact form. So we can tell him you filled it in successfully. And I'm going to put this one also inside of our environment example. So that's from resend from email equals, and I'm just going to put this default one from onboarding resend dev. That one is always working for testing it out. And two, we are going to put our data dot email. Is it? Oh no, it's not data, it's email form data. We changed that one. And subject is going to be just welcome, and email template, we are going to call it from our new component that we created. And this one is going to be our first name that we have from our email form data dot first name like this. Awesome. And now we need, I'm going to remove this entire error thing and everything, and we are just going to send emails to see if that one is working or not. Oh yes, I almost forgot. This one also needs to be our environment variable, and that's going to be, how did I call it? Resend from email like this. And now we can actually test it. So to happen. So let's go into our form, and we are going to send now a real email to OrcDev. Then I have my new email, theorcdev@gmail.com, and message is going to be anything because we are not even using it. And now we are going to submit. And am I receiving my emails? Nope. Let's move in here our if error, and then just throw that one. And let's try one more time. Submit. Okay, we have something. Let's see what it is inside of our terminal. Oh, we can send testing emails only to my own email address. Okay, that's fair. I'm going to use my email address, and now I hope it's going to work. Let's try one more time, submit, and we don't have an error, so that's the good thing. And do I have an email? Yes, here it is. Welcome Orc. Awesome. So now this one is working and we can just improve it a little bit. I'm going to put here try catch just in case if something goes wrong, and we can even remove this data because we are not sending anything back. And here I'm also going to throw error if something is happening, and now this whole process is working just fine. So we are actually putting here I don't know what were these errors. I'm going to test it one more time. So we are filling in our form that is completely validated. So here if I put submit, we see that we need here 2 characters, and this one also needs to be 2 characters. Our email needs to be valid email, so we cannot put anything. We need to put our real email, and message needs to be also minimum of 2 characters. And we can now, this could probably be filled in some database or something like that if you want this data from users, and we are sending them an email based on the email address they're putting in here. So this is the perfect example how we are using our server actions. So we have our form here and we are sending it to our server in order to send emails from the data inside of our form. And let's test it one more time so we can see what were those errors. So I'm submitting and I did the same thing. Okay, I need here my real email from my account like this, and I'm going to remove all the errors. Let's see if we are having some problems. So email is coming up. Yeah, there it is. And we don't have any problems. Awesome. So now if you need to save this data, you should do it here inside of your email. So before sending the email, we can put here to do add this email form data to some database. And then after that, you can send an email just to let user know that you successfully added everything inside database and that you're going to contact them or whatever it is. That's it, warriors. Simple as that. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to join the Horde, and you need to click that bell icon, or should I say war cry of the web dev warrior. And also there is a Discord channel and you have the invitation in the description below. See you.